77 years have been passed since the two devastating wars taking place in the 20th century. And now, we are finally here in 2024. For thousands of years, the history of mankind has been filled with murder, bloodshed and war. That's why, looking back into our history, it's possible for someone to think that we are living in the most peaceful era in the history of mankind. But the question is, how true is that? Because currently we are living in a world that can be compared to a ticking time bomb, and its time limit is known to none. The geopolitical tension between Russia and America has influenced the world to be divided in two parts, and at any moment can start another world war. A war where no Why? Why would humanity want their own demise? They don't. Nobody wants war. And even if anybody does, their number is insignificant. But didn't the two world wars still happen? People's craving for power is so strong that they remain indifferent to the consequences of their actions. Now it's just a matter of time before someone pulls the trigger. That's why, despite the modern world appearing peaceful at first glance, in reality it's only going towards its destruction. Because technology that were developed to improve our way of living now has become the pinnacle of our destruction. Such circumstances prove that humanity has never been able to form a way of living following which we can live peacefully in the world despite technological advancement. Now the question is, what's the solution? That first possibility. Can this universe truly be formed in its own? Or even if it did, can it really reach its current condition on its own or not? If the answer is no, then we will be able to come to the conclusion that there definitely is a creator to this universe. But first, let's have an idea about the vastness of this universe. Can you see the moon in the night sky? How far can it be from the earth? This far or this far? But in reality, you can fit 30 Earths in between the Earth and Moon's orbit. Let's forget about the Moon. After seeing many animated models, you might think that our solar system may look like this. However, in reality, the distance between each planet in our solar system is so vast that if we attempt to view the entire solar system, the Earth looks like a small dot. But this distance is nothing compared to the vastness of the universe. The distance between us and the closest star to our solar system, Proxima Centauri, is around 4.24 light years. Light year is a unit to measure distance. The distance that light travels in a vacuum in 1 year is called a light year. Let me explain how big this distance is. Light can travel about 186,000 miles in a single second. As a reference, in a second, light can travel around the entire Earth more than 7 times. The Earth in itself is so big that many of us may not be able to travel its entirety in our lifetime. And light can do that in seconds. And not only once, twice or thrice, but more than 7 times. Then think how much distance it can cover in a whole year. This distance is called a light year. And even the closest star to the sun is about 4.24 light years away from us. Even the fastest man-made object, Parker Solar Probe, which can travel around 120 miles per second, would take more than 7,000 years to cover this distance. But even that is nothing compared to the vastness of our universe. There are over 100 billion such stars in our own galaxy itself, which are orbiting around the supermassive black hole at the center of our Milky Way galaxy, which is 105,700 light years wide. But it doesn't stop there. There are countless galaxies like the Milky Way in our universe. Approximately 200 billion to 2 trillion such galaxies, galaxy clusters and superclusters make up this 93 billion light years wide observable universe. Although it's important to note that the observable universe doesn't represent the entire universe, it's just a limit to our observation. We will never know if this universe truly has a limit or not. Now think how vast this universe is, how small we are. So can such vast entity truly be formed on its own? But still, for the sake of the argument, let's keep going. The Big Bang Theory is the most widely accepted model that explains the formation of the universe, the idea of which came from the evidences such as expansion of the universe, the redshift of light, cosmic microwave background radiation, etc. According to this theory, 13.8 billion years ago, all of the mass, energy and fundamental forces of this universe were centered in a single volumeless point. And at one point, it started to expand, resembling a huge explosion. And gradually, it reached its current condition. Even that with many coincidental occurrences. By many, I mean millions or billions of them. Out of these millions of instances, even a single one not happening would have rendered the universe unable to support life. Like if the values of the constants for the 4 fundamental forces in the universe were to be changed even by a tiny bit, the formation of planets and stars would have become impossible. Let's not talk about that far into the past. If the Earth's atmosphere didn't contain the ozone layer in the stratosphere, then the sun's ultraviolet rays would have caused the Earth to be unsuitable for life. Instead of being a rocky planet, if the Earth were a gas giant, the formation of life would have been completely impossible. Moreover, if Jupiter didn't exist in the solar system, the Earth would have been more susceptible to large asteroids, etc. There are millions of such instances. It is also important to mention that if those instances didn't happen in a particular order, still the universe wouldn't have been able to reach its current condition. Just like while building a house, you first have to establish the foundation. If you try to build the pillar before that, it will collapse. Now the question is, what's the probability of these millions of instances happening in a specific order? Let's try to understand it from an example. Take 10 pieces of paper. Write down the numbers from 1 to 10. Let's say these 10 numbers refers to 10 such coincidental instances. Now put those pieces of paper in a container. Now randomly pick one of the pieces. Now for the instances to happen in a specific order, the first piece has to be 1. If you know about probability, then you know that the chance of the paper being 1 is 1 out of 10. If you do this 2 times in a row, the chances of the next paper being 2 is 1 out of 100. If you do this 10 times in a row, the chances of the 10th piece being 10 is 1 out of 10 billion. If you keep doing this for 83 times in a row, the chances of it keeping the order is 1 out of 10 to the power 83. This number is so huge that it exceeds the number of all the atoms in the universe by a large margin. So we can say that the probability of it perfectly maintaining that order 83 times is completely impossible. And this probability is only for 83 instances. So I think there is no need to explain how small the probability of such millions and billions of occurrences happening would be. So can such millions and billions of instances truly happen on its own? Definitely not. So we can come to this conclusion that there definitely is a creator to this universe. So based on that, what should our way of living be? Whose path are we supposed to follow? Of mortals like us or God? God definitely has determined a particular way of life, following which humanity will be able to live peacefully in this world. Now it's just up to you to decide.